All right, my second guest this week on the Wiregrass High School Football Report is Ashford Yellow Jackets head coach David Stapleton. The Yellow Jackets defeated Oak Grove on Friday night in the first round of the playoffs for a 35-20 victory. And Coach Stapleton, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show, and congrats on the win on Friday night.
Yeah, Phillip, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on again. Always thankful when you hit me up, and yeah, you could call me at 10 p.m. and I'd answer and want to do an interview with you. So I appreciate you.
I have had coaches tell me in the past during playoff time it's always a good thing if they get a text message from me on Saturday. So that's just yeah, that's true. So yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you texting me. So yeah, glad to be talking with you. Yeah, before we get into the game, just kind of like just going into the playoff game, I know you guys probably already looking forward to the matchup with Tallassee this week. It's just, for Ashford, just historically, first playoff win since 2002. I mean, I was still in high school at the time. Then the first home playoff game since 2003. That's when I was a junior in high school. But just the historical and just, getting that, getting Ashford back in this position.
Yeah, I think it's really just a testament to our kids and how they've bought into the program and what we're trying to accomplish. Last year when I got here, the goal was to be competitive, and I feel like we accomplished that last year. And we didn't make the playoffs, but we were competitive in a lot of football games and had a chance to win more than 4. And then so going into this year, I knew that we had to raise the bar for sure, and because we already felt like we were competitive, but we had a playoff team on our hands, and I knew that. I think our staff knew that. I think the kids knew that before the season started, and it took a minute to just find the pulse of our team. But there was 2 key games in the season, and it was one against Cottonwood, and then Strawn, that kind of molded our team and helped get us to this point where we're at now. But again, I think it's a huge testament to the work and commitment that our coaches and players have made. And then like our football staff too, like some people that are behind the scenes, like we've got a football secretary named Brittany Willis who does an outstanding job. A ton of parents that work in the concession stand, so we got a whole bunch of people that stay committed to this thing. And we've always said, it takes a village to raise a kid. And so, you can imagine what it takes to run a program. And, I'm not doing this thing by myself, and it's not like something like magical happened when I showed up. It took the collective effort from a group of people, from the superintendent, my admin, all the way down to our school custodians. It just takes buy-in. It takes a little bit of time, but I think we got there a lot faster than people might have anticipated. So, I think it's a standard as a program to go to the playoffs every year. I think Strawn's a good example. They're constantly and consistently in the playoffs, and I think that's for sure got to be a standard at the beginning of every year that your team's going to be a playoff football team. And then you give yourself an opportunity to go play for a blue map, and I think there's some luck that comes with that too. But the biggest thing is getting to the dance and then giving yourself an opportunity to win a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on Friday night, like I said, on the top, you guys won 35-20 over Oak Grove. And just kind of rewinding a little bit last week, as you were preparing for this matchup, what was the key things you wanted your team to focus on just going into the game when you saw Oak Grove on film?
Yeah, they're really well coached. They were 8-2 in the regular season. They'd scored the most points in the history of their football program. I think they were averaging almost 37 points a game, and they're really unique on offense. They do a lot of wing tee, double wing type stuff, and they do the sugar huddle where they line up really fast and try to get you misaligned, and they use motions and trades. And so the biggest thing for us was getting lined up to what they do on offense, and then before our defense, excuse me, and then on our offense, just sticking to what we do well. And we're a team that we hang our hat on running the football. I think it's definitely a mentality thing, and we talk about like train track football and what that looks like, and I think running the football is a pretty good example of train track football. So like, we had to establish the run, and then we had to stop the run on that side on defense, because like I said, they do a really good job coaching over there at Oak Grove, and they'll get you misaligned in a hurry. So for us, it was just getting lined up on defense and then playing with max effort, and on offense, like I said, it was establishing the run game, and then making sure we take care of the football. I think we were, I want to say, like +3 in the turnover margin. I think we turned over the ball one time on a bad snap, but we created 4 turnovers. So, and then winning in the special teams. Like, I felt like we had a little bit of an edge there. I felt like we were able to set up a couple returns, whether that be kickoff or punt. We ended up taking a punt back for a touchdown, and we had a defensive touchdown too. So I felt like in every phase of the game, our kids played really well and executed really well. I think it was just a collective effort as a team, offense, defense, and special teams. And our kids went out there and did something that hasn't been done, since they've been alive. So I think that's pretty special to go change the narrative when you've never seen it done. So, like, those kids are writing history, and so I'm super proud of the kids, and they deserve it, and they deserve to be here. So, again, that was kind of the deal. We felt good about it, too, as a team. I think we were like a 10-point underdog, and, I think my kids thrive on that, too. So, anytime that they're counted out, I think that helps them play with an edge, and I respect that for those kids.
Yeah, after I had told those numbers about the playoffs, 2002, 2003, then I realized after I said it that none of your players were born yet when that happened. And now my age is starting to kick in on me, Coach, for here a second, though. So,
Yeah, I know it's wild. I'll be 29 next week, and, I guess I was like 6 or 7, last time they went to the playoffs. So I'm like, that's a long, long time ago. So, for them to go do that, some of those kids' parents might have not even met at the time. So, it's just it's a pretty wild thing to think about. And, I don't think it's a one-year thing for the program. I think, like I said, going to the playoffs, it's got to be a standard for sure. So I'm proud of them for laying that foundation and raising the bar as young men for themselves and for their school.
Yeah, and talk about the game too. It was 21-14 going into halftime. I know there was a point 14. You guys, I believe, were up 14-7, and they looked like they were in position to maybe tie the game. And then the fumble recovery, Zay Johnson there for the touchdown. Just at that moment in the game, I know turnovers and a touchdown in that moment is always big, but just for that moment, how big was that for you guys, just from a momentum standpoint?
Yeah, it was huge. Our defense was on the field for the majority of the second quarter. We stopped them. They drove the ball a pretty good bit, and then we stopped them, and they punt, and we took it back for a touchdown. Well, that's good and bad because our defense had to go right back out there. Well, they go right back out there. Oak Grove marched down the field, took a bunch of time off the clock. They get down there to the goal line, and I think they're on like the 5-yard line, and they ran like a toss to the field side, and our corner came up in the run fit, and Quinn Jones, he weighs like 130 pounds, and Oak Grove had a really good-looking running back and a really good player, and he just had a really good form tackle, put his hat right on the ball, and it popped out, and Zay was right there, right place at the right time, and it was in the air, and it landed right in Zay's hands, and there was nobody in front of him. So, he ran for about 95 yards for a touchdown, and I was running down the field with him and ended up tripping, falling on the ground. So, it was definitely a cool play. Everybody was excited. It's just, after that it was 21-7, and again we had to go back on defense again. So like I don't think our offense touched the field in the second quarter until there was like a minute and 10 seconds left. So our kids were a little gassed. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I mean, you're out there for 10+ minutes on defense. That's a long time. But they held their own and we deferred. So we got the ball in the second half, and it worked out for us well.
Yeah, it was a good overall game for Zake. I know he had some touchdown catches in there too as well. So it was a all around good performance for him.
Yeah, Zay is a special kid. He's only a sophomore, but I think I think he's going to be able to continue his career after high school if that's what he chooses to do. But yeah, he had 2 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 1 fumble recovery for a 95-yard touchdown. So, and several tackles on top of that. And I don't even think he can drive yet. So he's a really good player. And, Coy did a good job of getting the ball to him. We threw the ball 4 times, and we completed 2 of them for 2 touchdowns. So, they did a really good job of connecting. And, and we did a good job of that on offense, just creating explosive plays and making plays in critical moments when we had to. So, again, that's just a testament to our kids and handling adversity really well. And, and coming back in the second half of a football game that was really tight and finishing when, again, they've never seen that done before. So, they had to be the ones to go do it. And so I think as a young man, that's a lot of growth right there and maturity. So I'm super proud of our boys.
Yeah, you mentioned the second half. Like I said, it was 21-14 going into halftime, and you guys outscored them 14-6 there in the second half. What was maybe some changes you guys made, or just some adjustments or anything in the second half to just limit them offensively?
Again, we had a pick. We started the half with the ball, and we had maybe a 5-6 minute drive. We didn't score, but we took a lot of time off the clock. They got the ball back, and I think it was the second play of their first drive of the second half, and we got an interception, and we ended up scoring off of that turnover to go up 2 touchdowns, and going into the fourth, and our kicker, Parker Brewer, made all of his PATs, so that was big too. I'm trying to think right here. When Oak Grove scored again, they went for 2 and didn't get it. So that gave us an 8-point lead. And then we scored one more time in the fourth quarter, on a pop pass to Zay. And I think there was only maybe 3-4 minutes left, and we had a 15-point lead. And then the way Oak Grove operates with their offense, their quarterback actually throws it really well, but they're a run-heavy team. So we knew once we got a 15-point lead, they were going to have to do some things. So, clock was getting chewed up, and we ended up having another interception in the fourth quarter down in the red zone by Demias Brunson that kept them out. And just some big-time plays and some critical moments. I think our kids bent a little bit, but we never broke. And, so they finished strong. I just told them at halftime they needed to dig deep. And, I didn't want to hear any excuses about being tired or anything like that, but they just needed to find that extra gear, and they did. So, I'm proud of them and proud of the way they finished. And, I think every time they do these things, there's just a little more belief and confidence that they have in themselves by the end of it.
And now, looking ahead to this Friday, you guys will go on the road to Tallassee to take on the Tigers, who they're out of 4A Region 3, 8-2 team there, 6-1 in their region. Just when you, and again, let everybody know when they're listening to this, we recorded this on a Sunday evening, but just what you've seen from them so far, what's going to be some keys for you guys to come out with a victory on Friday night?
Yeah, they got, well, first off, they're really well coached. He's done a phenomenal job of getting them, back to where they're used to being. I think they only won one game last year. So, they've done a phenomenal job of rebuilding that program and getting it back to where it needed to be. So, Coach O'Neill's done a really good job. Really nice guy too, and so they're very athletic, very fast. They're a physical team. They fly around on offense and defense. Their quarterback run game's really good, and they got another kid on their team, number 4, who's a phenomenal player, and he's very quick twitch, and they've got quite a few like that. So we're definitely gonna have our hands full with playing them, and it'll be another challenge for us, and but the kids are gonna be up for it, and our coaches will too, and I think it'll be a phenomenal football game. So we're excited to go, and again, I mean, I don't know how many people expected us to be here, but I think our coaches, our players, and our football staff, admin, I think people thought that there are a select few people I think that thought we would be here, and so we're thankful for the opportunity, and we're going to make the most of it.
Yeah, so, well, good luck on Friday night. And, and lastly, before I let you go, I know we're running a little bit longer than usual when I have you on, but anything else, any final comments for you, maybe about the community of Ashford or anything else going into this football game?
Yeah, I just hope everybody comes out and makes the travel to Tallassee. And, again, I mean, it's been the first time in 22-plus years that we've been here. So, I would love for us to pack out their stadium and make that 2-hour trip. And, hopefully we see them there. The support's been amazing. The game on Friday, this past Friday, was the most packed I've seen W.H. Brown, honestly, even more than the Cottonwood game. It looked like standing room only for a little bit. So, I hope we travel well. I think we will. We usually do. I think it'll be great. I think on a Friday night in the fall in November, there's no better thing to do than go watch high school football. So we hope to see them out there, and hopefully I'll be talking to you again.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, good luck on Friday night when you guys travel up there to Tallassee to take on the Tigers. And once again, I appreciate you coming on the show and talking about the Yellow Jackets.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks, Phillip, for having me. I appreciate it.